George Carlin had a bit that has always resonated with my dark sense of humor about how since the advent of sunscreen, there has been a monumental jump in cases of skin cancer. People, in their pursuit of this artificial look of health, are literally giving themselves a fatal disease. And mankind's ability to think they have problems solved with their massive galaxy brains and schemes and think, oh yeah, man, we have just absolutely beaten this thing. And it boomerangs them and slaps them in the back of the head. It's always hilarious to me. It really is incredible that how often humans do this. And a prime example of this is the Jehovah's Witnesses, because they are slowly becoming masters of experiencing unintended consequences for the goofy ideas and plans that they make. And boy howdy, they just released a new governing body update where they need to address a problem that they themselves actually created. So let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are taking a look at the governing body update number 8. This will be the final one for 2024, and we get none other than the geriatric milk bag himself, Ken Cook. I don't know why I call him Kenneth sometimes. Is his name Kenneth? Does it go by Kenneth? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Quickly, before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like on it. It helps to get out to more people on YouTube, and it is very much appreciated. And consider subscribing if you want to see other updates from the Jehovah's Witnesses. With all of that being said, let's take a look at this governing body update.
Eritrean authorities have recently imprisoned 5 more of our brothers and sisters. On November 1st, 2024, national security officials arrested 4 witnesses aged 16 to 18. There are now 68 brothers and sisters in Eritrea who are imprisoned for their faith.
The religious situation in Eritrea seems to be pretty bad. I did find a report from 2023 from the Department of State here in the US of A that was talking about the Eritrea 2023 International Religious Freedom, and it was detailing some of the issues and problems that were going on inside of that country. Not exclusive to Jehovah's Witnesses, but they were included. Last year, it said that other NGOs said as many as 1,000 were detained, including 32 Jehovah's Witnesses for refusing to participate in military service or renounce their faith. So that seems to be one of the big ones, is the refusal of military service, because by law, if you're between the ages of 18 and 50, you must perform 18 months of national service, and they do not provide any thing for conscientious, well, I can't say that word, objectors for religious purposes or anything like that. So obviously for Jehovah's Witnesses, that's going to be a problem. On top of that, Jehovah's Witnesses in particular are having trouble largely getting official documents. So whether that might affect their work or their employment, access to different government programs, or even their own bank accounts. And I believe this means that they can't even obtain visas and stuff for travel. So even fleeing the country becomes a bit of an issue. And then like different government programs for like rations and stuff like that, all because they're not able to get any official documents because of not renouncing their faith. And sadly, even in this report, it mentioned how 4 Jehovah's Witnesses had even died while they were in prison since 2011. And this has been going on for quite some time, all the way back in 1993 with their refusal to participate in a vote. Now, with the government there, lack of communication or being open about how they're treating their people is a bit of an issue, so getting a lot of solid information is difficult. So it's a really sad situation that's happening there. I did find another Christian newspaper that had reported that there were 4 different pastors that had been in prison for over 20 years. So yeah, a real bad situation as far as religious freedom goes in Eritrea. This isn't exclusive to Jehovah's Witnesses by no means. They are just part of a larger, sort of non-nominal. I'm not 100% sure about the demographics, but it sounds like there's only like 3 or 4 recognized faiths there, and then you have to apply for registration, which they never grant it. As far as Watchtower is concerned, they probably are just sad about this because not being able to apply to be a official registered religion there means they can't go on with their building projects. But yeah, a little bit sad, especially because of all of the fallacies and lies that the governing body tells Jehovah's Witnesses, and all of the problems historically and currently that they have. So you have people literally suffering for something that is just being made up and cobbled together by some dudes in New York that aren't really experiencing this. So it always makes me really sad because it's not necessarily just the problem of them suffering for their faith, but they're suffering for a faith that is absolutely ridiculous and outrageous, even from a Christian perspective. I'm not a Christian, but even if you are, the Jehovah's Witnesses almost appear to be more crazy than if you're not. Anyway, so that is just a little update about what is going on in that country, Eritrea. And now let's hear about what's going on with their big construction project in Ramapo. Ramapo. Wow. I'm never going to not be able to think of that again. What have I done?
Ramapo.
Because he's deliberately stimulating himself, whether he has an orgasm or not.
And why are you acting so nervous? And why are you sweating so much? And why do you look so hungry? And...
We are thrilled that final permission for the Ramapo project has been approved by the Town Planning Board. This is what the site looks like now. A tremendous amount of preparation work has already been done, including much of the design work. The site has been cleared and temporary construction support facilities have been installed. But with this approval, we can now start the construction work itself. Over the next weeks and months, contractors will begin rock blasting to level the land where the buildings will be. Because of the size of the area that will be developed and the landscape, this activity will take approximately 18 months to complete. As a comparison, the rock blasting on the Warwick project took less than 6 months. The rock will then be crushed and used to level out other parts of the site and for large retaining walls, all of which will result in cost savings. This will quickly lead to structures coming out of the ground, such as the parking garage and the residence buildings.
This is such an interesting project for the Jehovah's Witnesses, because I don't know how you're selling this to everyday ordinary Jehovah's Witnesses. Clearly, anyone with 2 eyeballs and a half of a functioning frontal lobe can deduce that this is a extremely expensive project that they are embarking on. When you look at the scale of this bad boy, it's not hard to imagine that this is going to easily exceed $100 million. So why do they need such a sophisticated movie production studio when they already are doing the amount of producing the amount of videos that they currently are? With their current setup, we're getting the full-length Jesus drama. We got 18 of those bad boys on the way, or 17 more because we already have one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We get all of the videos for the conventions, all of the little things for demonstrations, for the meetings, the broadcasting. All of that is already currently happening. So how is this going to add more video capability to the Jehovah's Witnesses? Is there plan to have more videos? Are they going to be getting rid of speakers entirely? Hey, you know what? You're just going to have to plug in to the online Zoom version. Is it just going to become a online religion? I don't see the vision. I don't get the point of it. And I've thought about this extensively, and I still can't get my mind around how they are going to justify spending this amount of money on a movie studio that they don't really need. Unless their plan is to be producing even more videos. I guess maybe instead of getting one Jesus drama per convention, so every year, maybe you're going to be getting like a new Jehovah's Witness reality TV shows. Maybe you're going to have the JW cooking competitions all hosted here at the Ramapo project. Like, what is the vision that they have for this? I still can't get my head around it. So if you have any ideas about what it might be, let me know down in the comments below. But with all of that, let's get into this unintended consequences that Watchtower is facing by creating Jehovah's Witness celebrities. And I think it ties so poetically into them building a nonsensical movie studio to make more movies, therefore making more Jehovah's Witness celebrities. And yet, right after this, they're complaining about there being Jehovah's Witness celebrities. These guys just really can't see 2 steps in front of them.
While many assignments are in the background, some assignments are more visible to others. For example, various brothers and sisters who appear in photos in our publications, or who are used in our videos. In recent years, our organization has produced hundreds of videos, including full-length dramas. At our conventions this year, no doubt you appreciated viewing the first episode of The Good News According to Jesus. We look forward to all 18 episodes. We deeply appreciate the time and hard work that various brothers and sisters contribute to make these projects come to life. Many from around the world have appeared in our videos. In some cases, a brother or sister has been interviewed or has told an experience from their own life. In other cases, they may have portrayed a Bible character or even a modern-day character. It could be that you know someone in your local area who's had this privilege. But here's an important question. How should we view those who appear in our videos?
Now, in a moment where I feel like even Jehovah's Witnesses might be questioning the direction of the organization, believing Jehovah's Witnesses that have stuck around for decades on the promises that this organization has given them, see the current leadership, and I think a lot of people are scratching their heads and wondering what the heck is going on. And so amid all of this turmoil, the governing body decides that the real pressing issue that they need to talk about in this governing body update is famous Jehovah's Witnesses. Bucko, I gotta be honest with you. Who made them famous? Did you not take 1 second to think about human nature and realize that this was an inevitability? We'll talk about that in a little bit more later. But remember, from the very beginning, when people are starting the process of even being considered for one of Watchtower's videos, there is a almost competitive and special way that they go about and do it. I'll show this quick video because I know that they talked about it in, I think it was at an annual meeting or something. So let's take a look, and just so you guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to their auditioning.
We're looking at how we could accomplish so many auditions in a shorter period of time. So we came up with the idea of a self-guided audition, where we put a package together identifying how the audition needs to be accomplished, and we send it to the publisher that's being auditioned, and they record their own audition and send it back to us for processing.
So Watchtower has come out and publicly said, hey, yeah, we have these auditions. Now, something that isn't public, and there's videos about it too, I'm not entirely sure if I can even show those, but they have a selection process where they can go and send a letter to elders. The elders will look at the qualifications of everyone within their congregation, including their minor children, and ask them if they might be interested in participating in a video project. If the person is interested and they meet all of the qualifications, they will be presented with this video of a governing body helper literally telling them that they have been selected for a special privilege, a special service. So just put on your old thinking caps here, just because somehow Watchtower hasn't figured this out, but I guess I'll explain it. If you are someone that has been personally selected by your circuit overseer or your elders, hey man, feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty special. Well, there's going to be some other people, so we're going to need you to send in some tapes for the audition process, and we'll know, who's our final selection. Okay, so there's going to be other people involved in this selection. Okay, well, that's fine. Boom, you get selected. Oh, wow. I was the best of all of the auditions, which is true because you have to select the best. They don't just go out. This is what I'm trying to say. They don't go out and say, hey, you, Todd Aiken, you're going to be the next Jesus. That's your new assignment. Deal with it, Buster. No, they go out and select based off of people's talents. And so if you're selecting based off of people's talents, and you also tell them that there's an audition process in which they are better than other people, are you surprised, even in the slightest, that they're like, oh man, I'm the man. I get to play Jesus. And now Todd Aiken is riding on cloud 9. Watchtower has created this problem by their organizational handling of it, because there was an alternative available to them, and that was just hiring actors. You could have hired them and avoided all of this. Watchtower, those old goats, cheap as all hell, they decided, no, we don't want to pay. Man, you got to pay the actors. You got to pay them for their time and for housing them and food and blah, 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 the divas. Why don't we just get some free work by volunteers? Oh, and by the way, the people that do this, they're not receiving compensation. So they have to figure out I believe they even have to pay for their own flights to the location. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's not like they're getting a lucrative, a Hollywood deal here that they're signing. It is costing them something. And so why would someone want to do that? I don't know. Because they think, how cool would it be to be a famous Jehovah's Witness?
Those who appear in theocratic videos are dedicated, humble servants of Jehovah. They don't seek fame or glory for themselves. Quite the opposite. They want the glory to go to Jehovah. Thankfully, the majority of our brotherhood maintains this proper perspective. Nevertheless, there's a caution for us as viewers. We must avoid transferring our admiration for the biblical characters to the brothers and sisters who portray them on screen. Instead, we imitate the faith of the men and women recorded in God's Word.
It's hard for me to even find the words to explain how delusional this guy is in thinking that people don't really care about the glamour and the fame that might come about from being in a Watchtower production. They are absolutely doing it for the reason of being noticed. Watchtower, if you don't believe me, you could do this experiment super easily. You could have people apply for roles on your next upcoming video project. Now, look at how many applications you have for people doing forward-facing jobs. Don't make it generic, but specific applications filled out. For people that will be on camera versus the people that will be behind camera, the people that will be sweeping up the confetti, the people that will be cleaning the outhouses. You're going to have thousands and thousands of people applying to be on camera, and you'll have a handful of people applying to do stuff off camera. Because the reason that they are willing to take time off of work, to take time not advancing their personal life or career, to spend money in the travel expenses because you don't cover that, is for the glory. It's for people getting to be recognized. It is a natural human thing to want to feel like you mean something to other people, even to strangers. You can look at the world and deduce this yourself, because everyone has become a performing artist all the time. They can be cooking, they can be taking a hike, talking and singing with their kids. It doesn't matter what it is. People are taking videos and uploading it on social media all the time of everything they're doing, always, nonstop. It's almost like an obsession where you can't do something, you can't go somewhere, you can't experience something without recording it and uploading it for other people to see. Have you been to a concert lately? In the whole concert, you just have thousands of people all recording on their phone, not experience it, because everyone wants to be performing things for other people, all for the tiny little squeeze of dopamine that they can get out of their brains. Now, Watchtower, you look at that world and you say, if we give these people an opportunity to be in front of millions of people, to be in the Jehovah's Witness world, a celebrity, especially because people aren't able to achieve that normally. It's so frowned upon. You're looked down upon if you ever want that level of success. If you do love acting or music or whatever the case is, and you actually have an opportunity to perform that for millions of people, and it's within the confines of your Jehovah's Witness beliefs, there are thousands of springs being suppressed by your organization, and you're finally giving them the outlet to be free. It is no surprise that people would be excited to be recognized. And I think this is not them being like, oh man, everyone's showering me with too much praise. Oh, I can barely handle all the praise. I'm thinking this might be coming from a place of jealousy or insecurity, or not wanting people to be, not wanting ordinary Jehovah's Witnesses to feel like they've accomplished or achieved something. If you are running a cult, you always want to make sure that everyone, if you're not part of the leadership, feels like they are on an even playing field unless you give them the praise. What's the word I'm looking for? The validation needs to come from the leader. And if it's coming from other people around them, they might experience what the normal world looks like, where other people can validate you and say you did a good job. And you get that from not the leader. And so if you're running a cult, you might start talking in this way. But if he is being sincere, which I don't think he is, it's such a brain-rotted argument that you're making. Well, people do this for Jehovah's glory. Get real, brother. They are not doing this for any other reason than to be famous Jehovah's Witnesses.
How could it affect a video participant if we gave him undue attention, treating him like a celebrity? He could feel embarrassed or self-conscious. This could happen if we ask these ones if we could take a photo with them. It would be even worse if we posted it on social media, perhaps even adding comments.
Well, my friends, we have teleported into some dimension that I can't quite comprehend. Because I'm pretty sure this guy just said, and imagine they take a selfie, and then imagine they upload it to social media. But it could get even worse. People might start adding comments. What is wrong with any of that? Watchtower, you are the person that made them famous. And now you're sitting here writhing because they're getting more attention? It's not that awkward of a situation. Imagine it in reverse. So you're like the Jade Nita people, and you go to a party full of Jehovah's Witnesses, and nobody acknowledges that you had any part in that video series. Just like they had never seen it before. it would be awkward because you know they're thinking it. They know that you know. And so just get it out of the way. Like, didn't you play the Jade? Yeah, that was me. Oh, man, that's super cool. What was it like? Oh, yeah, da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, do you mind if I get a picture? Oh, yeah, no problem. Boom. Picture. Done. What is problematic about that? People enjoying their faith as Jehovah's Witnesses. That just sounds like friends having a good time. A community of people enjoying their community. And yet these goobers are like, oh, imagine people might add comments. Imagine they said, oh, wow, must have been cool meeting Jade. Oh, the humanity. Okay, guys, we got to address this. We got big problems in Watchtower right now. Why is this such an issue for them? The only thing I can think of is that they're just angry and mad that other people are getting attention, and it makes them nervous about losing control or something. And they, of all people, know full and well what it's like to be a famous Jehovah's Witness because they made themselves famous. The governing body used to be these, no one really knew who they were. They were these wise old wizards up in New York studying the Bible for 12 hours a day and praying in sackcloth. And now the governing body are the hosts of the JW broadcasting. That is their image. They made themselves televangelists, and they made themselves famous to where people are like, because everyone knows what you look like now, boom, everyone wants to get a picture with you. And it's a natural thing. It's a normal thing. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. And then the other thing is, don't you want people to feel happy about them doing free work for you? Don't you want it to be enjoyable? So that way it will motivate others to volunteer. You're building this big old studio. You're no doubt going to need more free work to build it and for people to act in it. Don't you think you would want to make it kind of exciting? Doesn't this just seem like something that why bother poo-pooing? Because it's just people taking pictures and uploading them. And it's not that big of a deal.
At Jude 16, the Bible condemns those who were flattering others for their own benefit. The footnote on that verse describes this as admiring personalities. Some of our video participants have become overwhelmed by the inordinate attention. Some no longer feel comfortable attending large gatherings of Jehovah's people. It's vital to have the right perspective of those who appear in our videos.
The only situation that I can envision where someone is like really, oh man, I'm just overwhelmed with all of these people wanting to take pictures and selfies, because I can't imagine it's that bad. Oh, I go to a large gathering and I can't even drink the punch anymore. I just have to take so many selfies. I don't know if that's happening. I feel like that's really would be blown out of proportion if that was the case. So it's hard for me to envision that happening. I could see someone being upset if they woke up or were starting to question, or maybe they didn't have that same zeal and faith because they were involved in this production and saw how ultimately just pointless it is, or they've just gotten tired of being a Jehovah's Witness and now they're that famous Jehovah's Witness and feel like they can't leave or stop going to meetings because they've been the face of a Jehovah's Witness production. I feel like that maybe could be a situation that would maybe make someone hesitate, but you know what you're signing up for. You know exactly how this is going to go down if you are the star of a JW production. And I'm just very skeptical that he's saying, oh yeah, people are feeling like they can't go to parties. I don't know how real the person he's talking about is.
The brothers and sisters who appear in our videos are humbly carrying out an assignment from the organization. Like Paul, Barnabas, and Jesus, they want the attention and glory to go to Jehovah. Of course, some brothers and sisters are assigned to portray servants of Jehovah, but others are assigned to portray enemies of Jehovah. Can you imagine how difficult it would be for a faithful brother or sister to portray an enemy of Jehovah? We would not want to make that assignment even more difficult by developing negative feelings toward the individuals who play such roles. Clearly, balance is needed in how we treat those who play roles in our videos.
Imagine you play some evil person in a Watchtower production. The next convention you go to, you're walking around, someone just steps on your shoes, looks you right in the eye. Just people spilling coffee on you, not inviting you out in service anymore. This is actual, like, governing body just delusion. It's gone off the rails. I don't think that this is a real thing that is happening where people are like, well, I just can't be friends with him anymore. You know, she was wicked Queen Jezebel and that's it. I can't do it. She's just a whore. I don't think any of that is reality. And if it is, then my goodness, I think people need to just get a grip. Maybe I've been out of Watchtower too long, or they've been in Watchtower too long. Somehow this intersection of ideas just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's about all I got for this governing body update video. I just have to reiterate the point that he says he's like, they accept this assignment. They are fulfilling an assignment. And yet you have to remember that there is a process, and this isn't like you are just randomly selected. You are selected based off of your merit, and you know that you are essentially competing for a role against other people, ostensibly against a lot of other people. And so it's going to make you feel that's just true. The other aspect of this is it finally gives women a chance to have a role where they get a little bit of credit and glory within the organization. For decades, they've just been sitting behind and, oh, well, what are you? I'm an elder's wife. I'm a circuit overseer's wife. I'm a governing body member's wife, but I'm a pioneer. And that's it. Them as individuals would not be able to have a role where they could receive praise and attention for the thing that they did themselves and not just be an ancillary aspect of this praise. We like to thank you for the circuit overseer and all the wonderful things, and his wife too for accompanying him. No, a woman could actually have a role where she could feel good about it. So this could be another way that they're just trying to squash this, because what an awful situation Watchtower would have on its hands if first you allow women to wear pants, and now they're able to get praise and honor and even post a picture on social media and have other people say, oh, wow, it's such and such from that Watchtower movie. Ugh. That would be a real problem, wouldn't it? Anyway, I don't really know what's going on in Watchtower's heads. They have so many issues. This seems so inconsequential, but I like it whenever they are going on about inconsequential things, because then I get to laugh and make fun of them. Anyway, thank you so much for enjoying this video with me. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on it, and I'll see you on the next one. So stay safe, be kind, and remember, love the things you love more than you hate the things you hate. And have a good ass day.